Hi, hello, my name is Phyllis. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, I don't know how to start this. I feel kind of nervous, but I wrote a book. We're at 100,000 words. And I thought that I should start a channel, a YouTube channel, just talking about my writing process and the whole journey. So I went online because I've been in the bookish space, like tangentially just dipping in my toe a little bit. And you think the writing part is like the chunk of it, and it is, but then the whole other part afterwards is also really tough. So I thought it'd be great to talk to people about this. One of my issues is that I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so it's really difficult for me to come out in a place that's not finished. Like usually I feel like I need to have everything all my dotted I's and crossed T's before I show up in the world. I'm trying to change that a little bit and share my process of writing with you and my process to publishing with you as well. So, if that sounds like fun, I hope that you subscribe and you chill out with me. But today we're going to be doing the AuthorTube tag. AuthorTube tag, basically, it's like a newbie thing where, hey, I wrote a book, let me talk about it. And I guess let me show you, like, say what this channel is going to be about and what we're going to do here. Just quickly before we jump into that, I have edited the questions myself. Also, do you like my phone case? I think before we get into that, I should introduce myself. Hi, I'm Phyllis. I'm 22 years old. I'm living in London. I just graduated, well, a year ago. Can I still say I just? I just graduated a year ago from LSE. I did sociology and some philosophy modules. Loved it a bunch, and that's actually when I started writing this story. Um, what else about me? Oh, I love writing. I love storytelling in all its forms. I love movies, I love acting, I love film, I love books. I was such a big avid reader as a kid and still trying to get back into that. Like most of us during the pandemic, like really got back into it as well. I love all types of stories and I love talking about them. So that's what this whole thing is going to be about, is not only my writing journey and journey to publish, but also just my love of stories. And I hope I can yap about that to you at any point in time. So that's what this channel is hoping to be. And that's a little bit about me. I love to yap and I love to yap about the things that I love. So it's a little cyclical. It's lovely to meet you. Now let's get into the AuthorTube questions. Woo, newbie tag, woo. So let's get into it. I'm not nervous at all. This is gonna go fine. So what is your book's pitch? So my book, I'm calling it Project Wisteria. It is a West African mythologically inspired high fantasy about two gifted sisters called Nicola and Effie. They're blessed by the goddess of fate, but torn apart by death or an immortal monster is called the Kindred. And this story is them trying to find their way back to each other. But that's what the story is about. I will obviously be sharing a little bit more about it as we get into, I guess, more about the project. And as I did say already, I've written 106,000 words. It's pretty much like the first draft is pretty much done. I spent 4 years writing this. I started in university while I was studying sociology and philosophy, and I always really found it so interesting about how our society works. And I was really like intrigued to think about creating a society that you make characters that are so interwoven with that society, that change it and that grow from it and cannot be like extracted from it because everything about them is permeated by their surroundings. I thought it would be really fun to explore that. I also, of course, studying sociology, we study like things like inequalities and power differentials and stuff. And high fantasy is like the most fun place to explore those sorts of ideas. And especially in a world climate where things are really tough, it just feels kind of interesting and a little fun to go and explore that in a removed place. A lot of this story has loads of metaphors and allegories about like coming of age and coming into your own and really understanding yourself, and my characters, their journeys through understanding and growing in themselves. All of that I kind of bundled together, and that's what this story was born into, like where this story was born essentially. And I'm obviously super excited to share that with you, but it makes this channel a little bit atypical because most people start when they're like I guess 10,000 words in or 40,000 words in, and they're like you're joining them on the journey to writing. So I guess the question there is, what is this channel going to be if you've already finished the draft? This channel is going to be a bit of a retrospective. I actually have 26 hours of podcasts that I made for myself talking about my story. I have 200 notes that I made on my own talking about my stories. I have like a full like OneDrive hard drive of just so much about my story. I have so much content that I made just for myself about my story. So everything that I was thinking, everything that I was feeling in the full writing process from start to finish, from page 1 to the end, I wrote down, I spoke about, I like cataloged and like really went through. So it's like also helping me to do a bit of a retrospective as I embark on the long journey to hopefully not as long, but the journey to publishing. So I think that that's something that I can provide, and obviously I'll be working on new stuff too, so it's not like, okay, your main project is done. It's just more like this main project, at least the final draft that I've been sending out, is like to a point where I'm happy with it, which is very hard to please me, as I know, being that I've been my editor and I've been like this with myself, and it's been so annoying. Sometimes you look at your work, you're like, bro, I've been on this so long, I need to take a break. So essentially this channel is going to be a bit of a retrospective. So I'll do write with me retrospectives, tell you how I got through the writing phase, tell you like how to start a story, how to plot it. I'll do characters, I'll do role building, I'll do setting, I'll do like plot, I'll do everything that I went through, all the outlines, how I worked, and how like pretty much go through the skeleton of the story and work with, I guess, explain it. And also I think it'll be a learning opportunity for myself as well, to be able to articulate myself and pitch it in a way that will also help me in like the querying journey or like trying to get it published. And so I guess to surmise, what I think this channel can be is a bit more of a retrospective of how to write a story, a bit more of a retrospective of my own writing process and the things that I learned from it. So I was cataloging things as I was going, but again, because of my perfectionism, I found it really difficult to show up in that manner. But as I have gained more experience in writing and more confidence in my story and more confidence in the path that I want to take, I think I'll be easier to share when things are a bit rougher around the edges. But I mean, this is just me being completely transparent, that like when I had like my worst drafts, my like start ones that were just for fun. I actually started writing this story just for fun on my phone. I always have like story ideas on my phone. I have a folder, like 300 notes of just different ideas that I have of stories. And I would just start writing. This was one of those ones I just couldn't drop, and it just became longer and longer, and I was like, okay, I should probably like transfer this onto a Word doc and actually like do something with it and make it into a fully fleshed out story. And actually the first things that I started writing ended up being like the final bit of the, like, it ended up being the finale of the story. So what I started writing first actually ended up being the last bit of the story. So I think that's a pretty fun idea to, I guess, talk about and go a bit more in depth in. So I hope that, I know I kind of rambled for a bit, sorry. I'm prone to doing that, but I hope that kind of explains like what I hope this channel can be and why I'm coming at this point to AuthorTube. The next question is, what made you start writing? So I actually was cleaning, we're doing a spring cleaning, and I found some of my old notebooks. So this is this is the first storybooks that I started writing. Actually, I have to show you this because it is like at the seams. I think I started writing this when I was about 12 years old. It is like falling apart. I don't even know what this is specifically, but, and also like, don't mind the spelling mistakes. This was back in the day, like writing with like paper. So I have like poems and short stories in here. This one is called For Sale, Baby Shoes Never Used. So this is proof from when I started writing. I started writing when I was 12, or probably older than that. I cannot even really remember when I started. I probably even started at 9 even, because that's when I got to Sims 3, and I was a storyteller. I was a storytelling bandit. No, I had the Sims on like when I was 9. That's when I got my first Sims 3. I got a DS, so I had Sims on like the Nintendo DS as well, and I used to storytell it through that. And then before that, it was like dolls. So I've always been a storyteller. So my camera died and then my card was full, so I had to switch to a different one. I don't know why. Listen, I'll get better at this YouTube thing. So what is your biggest writing struggle? So my biggest writing struggle is definitely perfectionism. It's difficult for me to sometimes just let things be done and just, like show up when things aren't exactly perfect in pretty much most areas of my life, especially my writing. It's kind of the place where I get to make the most mistakes, but also where I'm a little bit wary of being like judged. I think that everyone who's creative kind of also feels that too of like, oh, is this actually good or am I just super invested? But I think through sharing this journey and also through completing a book and like sending it out and getting rejections, which is pretty much most of what I've got so far, I think I've just become stronger and more confident in my writing, confident in pitching the story, confident in like growing and changing, and kind of shirking that perfectionism a little bit because at the end of the day, your book is not going to be for everyone. There are going to be people who love it and love it down and relate to the stories that you're trying to put out and relate to the characters and really understand what it is you want to do. And there are going to be people who completely dislike it and it's not really their vibe. And all of those things are together valid. And I'm excited about that, like a little nervously excited of sharing the story and going on this journey. And I want to break out of that habit, which is why I want to start this channel and really show up here, even when it's not looking perfect, even when it's not like to the nines all the time. In fact, I'll put in a video of the day that I finished my manuscript and how happy I was. I just grabbed my phone, no makeup or anything, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So I really want to document this because today is the 26th of August and I finished my manuscript. Woo! Oh, we're done. We're done. Well, we're done with the hardest part. No, are we? I know the rest of the journey is super duper long to publication, but the amount of achievement I feel right now is just crazy. I'm just so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. It just feels, ah, it feels so great. Wait, let's chat. Give me a second. But yeah, it is like in the wee hours. It was the wee hours yesterday. Like, I think I finished my day at like 3 a.m. and then I was like, okay, again today. And so I've just been writing all day. Yeah, I've learned so much about myself. Honestly, I wrote something down because I was writing the amount of words that I was doing. So from the 8th of August, I had 20 chapters and 46,000 words. From the 19th of August, I then had 71,000 words. And then in 11 days, that was 25,000 words. I'm insane. I'm literally insane. But then again, I also had like loads of different like drafts that I was like revising as well as adding it to a new story as well, with the same story that I've been telling. And then today, the 26th of August, I had 100,000 words. And that was like 30,000 words in 7 days. And that was the end of Act 3. So I wrote down this for future me, for when this journey is harder. In case you ever think you can't do something, Phyllis, and also to you guys watching, this is proof that you can. Never stop believing in yourself. I thank God for my story, and I pray it will touch the lives of many people and make me happy and successful. I had so much fun, X. That's why I wrote down. But yeah, yeah. So proud of myself. So I guess it's a bit of encouragement to me, to shirk that habit and really let go of it and embrace the imperfections of writing, because that's most of it. You put something on the page and it doesn't look right until you've gone over the revision like maybe 17, 30 times, and then it's like perfect and then you like it. And it's not going to be perfect, it's just going to be good. And I have to sort of be okay with, things being good and done. So I'm trying to shirk out that habit. So I hope that you'll keep me accountable. What is my best writing skill? I think it's empathy. That's why I think makes me a good writer, is being able to empathize with my characters. How I actually do scenes is should I show this? Is I act them out. Usually like when I'm thinking what a scene, what's gonna happen in the scene, I just act it out like it's a script. Like, yeah. I might share that with you, but that was really vulnerable, okay, of me, so don't judge me. But I usually like think of it in dialogue. I think about what the character is feeling, what pains they're going through, and how hard it is for them, or how happy they are, and what emotion they're feeling. So I really try to empathize with characters like they're full people walking off the page, and I think that's one of my greatest skills. Is even with my villains, I'm able to empathize with them, and I think that's what makes an interesting story from my point of view. Like you can do the whole like mustache twirling villain, but that's not as fun for me. I think it also doesn't really equip us to recognize villains in our real life. Villain isn't the best way to put it, but like antagonists in our real life. Like when you've, I think that from my experiences in life with, I don't know, with my big 22, but when you meet such a wealth of different people, that can be sorted into good or bad subjectively for you, you know, like in terms of the impact on you. It's very interesting to know what their perspectives are and how they view themselves, and empathizing with that, not to the point of damaging yourself, but also just to the point of understanding where they come from, and writing characters that I empathize with, characters that I understand. I think that's my greatest skill in writing, is really being able to empathize with my characters. And I think that makes me a good storyteller. So yeah, I was the type of kid who could draw like a smiley face on their finger, give the finger a name, and then the finger has a personality. It has a finger husband and a finger kid. It's got like a whole it's got like a whole job. My imagination kind of spirals in that way. I was the kind of kid who would watch Dora before they used to be. I think it was when she was still a computer program, but I used to wonder like where she goes to school and who her friends were. Like, I'm very much like the kid who likes to draw outside of the lines, and I think that's kind of where I am with my writing as well. So I think those are my skills, my best skill as a writer. What excites me most during this new fresh start on AuthorTube? Oh, I'm just happy to get outside of my head and talk to people about my story and have them understand, because I've just been talking to me. I've been in a room screaming to me. It's been like I talk about, I think I spoke about this with one of my friends of like, um when you make something like music, I feel like the turning around time to getting that engagement and talking with people about the music that you like or the music that you make is a bit shorter. Because like you make it, then you put it out, and it's like you get that engagement of like, did you understand the metaphors I wanted to talk about? Did you get it? You know? But with a book, a lot of it, like a lot of the journey is solitary. At least it was in the past, which is why I'm grateful for things like AuthorTube and social media. But it was pretty solitary of like you are kind of immersed into your own world, and then you can only really speak about it to other people who've seen the world, who've come in to and bought in and seen your vision and walked around in your fantasy realm, and then they want to talk about and discuss it, right? But what this kind of gives me as an opportunity is to share the ideas that I've had, share the things that I've been thinking about like 24/7, you know, the things that really give me joy about this world, and also hear some, I guess, also hear some feedback. I'm quite interested and really excited to hear what other people think and how other people navigate certain things. For my project Wisteria, I'm planning for it to be a series, so being able to share at this point in time, I'm super excited to have you guys follow me on the journey of creating this series. Not just this first book, but also the incoming books. I also have an idea to play around with the world more. The world of Wisteria. Should I say what the world's name is? No, I wouldn't say it yet. I'll say it later. But the world that Project Wisteria is set in has various different parts of it that I also want to explore, that I've touched on kind of in the first book, that I'm really interested in showing you a little bit more about. So even if I wrote other stories that I disconnected from the core trilogy or whatever, how long the series is of, I actually have like a pretty long plan, but however long Project Wisteria's baby series goes on, right? That there are other stories I can tell that are happening in the universe at the same time, or in the past or in the future, like in this world that I've built up. Like there's so much more to explore, that I'm excited to bring you onto this journey with. So, um, and essentially that's part of what I'm super excited about joining AuthorTube. So I hope I've explained that in a concise manner. I'm just trying to make sure my camera doesn't just like die on me again. And the last question is, any other plans for this channel? My channel name, of course, I was going back and forth on what it would be. Something like Phyllis Writes, because I was thinking about that because I saw a lot of AuthorTube people who had like Writes in their title name, and I thought, oh, like that's how you find community, because loads of people have titles like that. My like love of storytelling kind of is not only in books, but it's also in movies, it's also in TV shows, it's also in anime, it's also even in The Sims. I could bring my Sims stories if you're really ready to get crazy. But I knew that obviously it wouldn't be like a gaming channel because The Sims I don't play anymore, but um I knew that maybe there'd be other types of stories I'd want to delve into, other things that I'd want to discuss. Like ideas that I had, or maybe I watched something and I was like, I really like this characterization, and maybe this is something that we can take away to our own writing. Like discussing certain um, shows and movies and books that I like and the reasons why I like them and the characters that stuck with me. I thought that I could also bring that here. So doing like reviews isn't really the best word, just more like little chit chats about certain shows and movies and books and anime and manga that I like. So that's why I wanted to leave it a little bit more open-ended if you're interested in that. So it will obviously also be like writing writing content, also like how-tos, so things on plot, on world building, on character work and everything. And then also things on like more general storytelling of like things that I liked and my opinions on things, movies and TV shows and etc. etc. I could even talk about how sociology and philosophy played a role in how I constructed the characters that I did. I also did the psychology module back in college, so not in sixth form, sorry, because I remember that this is international, in sixth form as well. So I did like a psychology module there, and so I've had like loads of different spheres of like influence when I was writing this story, and that will continue to influence me as I write the rest of this in terms of like the rest of the series. So I just think that there's a wealth of things that we can delve into under the title card story. So those are my other like more liminal plans. I'm not too sure yet. Just I think it could be something to leave the door open to. But I think that's the end of my AuthorTube tag. So I think I'll probably say goodbye. This has been quite fun. I was a bit nervous when I started, but now I feel much more calm and I feel very excited actually. So, but I mean, thanks so much for watching. I need to make sure that I keep looking on the camera. Like, I feel like I'm so out of practice, um, of doing this, like, of how to do this. Like, look at the camera, Phyllis. Sorry. Okay. But I think that this is the part where we say goodbye. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really had a great time being able to talk about my story. I'm hoping to have a video out next week. More on writing. I'm not too sure yet. I'm gonna maybe think about what I want to talk about. Probably more about Project Wisteria. I will be sharing excerpts of it as too, so as and when. So I'm super excited to get into that with you. And if that sounds like fun, feel free to subscribe, follow me on my other social medias, because that's where I'll be posting like, you know, sorry, like I seem to have lost the words. What is it again? Where I'll be posting like my like updates of like, hey, I posted a video and stuff. All my social medias will be in the description. You know what to do. Um, but thanks so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, comment I don't know, a star emoji, because you're a star baby. Leave a star if you made it to the end and tell me, I don't know, what your favorite book is. Yeah, give me a book recommendation. Leave a star and leave a book recommendation. There you go. I do love fantasy. I haven't really dabbled too much in romance, but you know, if that's what you want to do, give me your best recommendations, and we'll chat again next week. So yeah. All right, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna stop talking. Alrighty. Goodbye. We'll talk soon, and thanks so much for hanging out with me.